Gathering and presenting feedback on information accessibility. A man is signing in Auslan in front of a dark background. This video is about providing feedback regarding information accessibility. What is an accessibility check? This topic, what is an information accessibility check? Sometimes, in group discussions, deaf-blind people will nod along to show that they understand what's being said, but later realise they didn't understand or absorb what was discussed. Having good access to information means it needs to meet the communication needs of the individual. Even with Auslan, there is a huge variation in how it's accessed. It could be tactile, visual frame, deaf-blind fingerspelling. Some might need specific lighting or to communicate at a short distance. Each person in the deaf-blind community has their own individual needs. Sometimes stakeholders, such as the government, hospitals, or other organisations, will ask the deaf-blind community to provide feedback about whether their services or information are accessible to deaf-blind people. Through feedback, they can improve and adapt information to meet the needs of deaf-blind people. Why is deaf-blind community feedback important? The government, for example, will sometimes ask the deaf-blind community to review their information about deaf-blind people to make sure it's accurate. Or they might ask about other topics and get feedback about how they can adapt that information to make sure deaf-blind people can clearly understand it. The deaf-blind community are very diverse in how they communicate. Deaf-Blind Australia firmly believes that when information is accessible to the deaf-blind community, it's accessible to everyone. Other organisations will seek consultation from Deaf-Blind Australia regarding their websites or other documents. They will ask if the information is accessible and correct, and they will amend it and polish it to ensure that it matches the needs of deaf-blind communication to improve understanding. Deaf-Blind Australia also firmly believes that when an organisation asks for that consultation to improve access, a deaf-blind person is the best and most appropriate person to provide it. It's important to recognise their lived experience and their expertise, especially as Auslan users. And it's not appropriate to use someone who is not deaf-blind. How to gather feedback. This topic, how to gather feedback. To gather feedback, you need to ask a number of different groups of people whether they find a piece of information accessible or not, and then how to improve it. When gathering feedback, it's important that you provide some accommodations. Ask the person how much time they need for discussion. Ask them questions in clear and simple language. Record the responses from them. You can gather feedback in person or face-to-face, or online through platforms like Instagram or Facebook. How do you present feedback? You can, for example, show data with statistics and percentages, or even through a detailed report. Feedback from the deaf-blind community is especially important, as we represent diversity within the community, such as different ages, communication styles, and forms of deafblindness. Because of these factors, we have different perspectives, and it's important to recognise those different perspectives. Feedback from different perspectives helps the government adjust their websites and their documents so that they better match the needs of the deafblind community, so the community and government can better understand each other. What to look for in an accessibility check. This topic, what to look for in an accessibility check. Sometimes Deafblind Australia or the government will request some feedback regarding different formats of information. Deafblind Australia or the government or even other community organisations will request feedback about their content, such as videos and what makes them accessible. For example, with video, you can see the background behind me here is dark, like my clothes, which is important for contrast. Clear communication or signing is important. Captions should be large, with a black background or yellow text, and that might change depending on a deafblind person's needs. You need to make sure that any audio is very clear, and lighting may need to be soft or bright depending on the situation. For written or printed information, you need to ensure that the font is large. White text on a black background is preferred, as a white background can be too bright and overwhelming. The document should be compatible with Braille or screen reader technology. Too many photos or diagrams can be distracting. Clear and simple pictures are much better for a deafblind audience. For website accessibility, deafblind people will often adapt a website to meet their needs, such as altering the colour, font, or size of the text. Some deafblind people will use Braille and screen readers to read the websites. Whether a website is easy or hard to use depends on how it can be customised.